What's going on, you guys? It is me, Tim the Rock, and I'm excited to bring to you my review for Darth Plagueis. I've been wanting to read this for a while. Here we go.
It has been so long and my path has been so dark.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
It all starts on the planet Baldeminic as Plagueis and Tenebris are wandering these caves. And then an explosion erupts. Then Plagueis is trying to help his master, but in due time he decides he must break the Bith's neck with the Force. We arrive on the planet Sojourn, and on this planet, Plagueis encounters a secret apprentice of Tenebris, and that is Darth Venomous. It turns out that he was training another man to kill Plagueis if he should ever fail him. The funny thing here, Venomous does not know Tenebris is dead yet. But in this, a fight breaks out between the two. They go into the lightsaber combat, but in the end, Plagueis bests him with the Force. He makes him eat a poisonous flower. It is yellow. And eventually, in the servitude of Plagueis, Venomous will be kept alive, barely, on the brink of death. And he will be a science experiment for him, as you can see here. As you can see here, he becomes a science experiment. But now it is time we get into another moment that I like in this book. We're gonna skip to chapter 9, where he meets Palpatine. All right, we go to Naboo. But the thing about Naboo is the plasma. The plasma. Everyone loves the plasma. They're all going up in arms about the plasma. It is very valuable, and it's valuable. But Plagueis encounters a young Palpatine, so wise and so smart, because his concierge lady, I don't remember what necessarily it was, but told him about him. Palpatine was giving information to the enemy of his father. Pretty interesting. But it will come to a point, Plagueis and Palpatine become very good friends. But his father, Kasinga, does not like that, not one bit. He has Palpatine sent off to a ship via bodyguard. They're all him and his family are taking him to another school without Palpatine's wishes, and it turns into turmoil. Palpatine and Kasinga have this intense argument, and it turns out he kills his father and everyone on board with the Force lightning. It was a big storm involved here. No one survived except Palpatine. Palpatine would then contact Plagueis, and Plagueis would teach him the ways of the dark side. Now, 11 years later, Palpatine is an ambassador, and he is the age of 28. And he goes to the planet of Dathomir. And he meets with the mother of Darth Maul himself as a young baby boy. She gives him away so he will not be a slave, because she has already another son. So they would make the other a slave. So to make sure both are free, she gives him to Palpatine. Little does she know, he's not a Jedi, which he tells her that. But he will be in servitude of something else. And then Palpatine has to figure out what to do with them. But what he does figure out to do is he sends the baby to Mustafar, with some droids being his caretaker. And over time, he will become the assassin we know him to be today. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's continue with the review. Now, when he told Plagueis about this, at first he was like confused, but then Palpatine had convinced him that he would be used nothing more than just an assassin. What's the craziest thing to me though in this book, Plagueis had the idea that him and Palpatine would one day be co-chancellors. But we know how that turns out, don't we, everyone? In fact, I'm gonna do a little bit of a time jump here, because this is still a review, and I still want you to go and read the full thing for yourself, because or on Audible. Go to Audible and do the whole thing yourself, because not just me trying to be, disrespectful or anything, but do it yourself so you can have the full experience that I had. Okay, not just me, but anybody else that goes on. It's a good experience for you to have. But we will do a big time jump here to the Cated Circle incident real quick, and then we'll jump to another situation. So let me show you the Cated Circle incident. Alright. He goes to the Canted Circle, excuse me, at Large Hill on the planet of Coruscant. He brings the Sun Guards with him, 114D. It's a ritual. Plagueis and other Munes were there too. They get ambushed by the Maladians. And these Maladians were throwing these discs at it. And it didn't matter. Plagueis was fighting them off with the Force. Really good, but it didn't matter because they were used to Force wielders. Jedi and stuff like that. So they were pretty dangerous because they ambushed them and all the Munes died except Plagueis. He got shot in the throat, basically. They had the decapitator discs. He got cut there. It was pretty hefty. He would force push him back. He would ram his fist through some people's chests. It was a very bloody battle. But also, he had Palpatine had sensed it was happening, and so him and Sate Pestage went there to go save his life. I gotta tell you, Palpatine in that very moment was wreaking havoc on people. Alright? He was doing the best he could. And you would wonder, why would he save his master? Well, he still needed information. He still needed more. Eventually, Palpatine would gain power. He would get elected the Chancellor, and the night came. Plagueis went searching for Anakin because he found out that Anakin was created, and that he could be the chosen one for the Jedi. He went searching. He went where he just left to go up to talk to the council with Qui-gon. But little did he know, he was too late. But when he got back, he went to go celebrate with Palpatine. Then Palpatine had him a couple of drinks. They got themselves a couple of glasses. They were drinking. But then, oh man, this was so good. Palpatine, this is how Palpatine kills Plagueis. Yeah, I will tell you that. I will tell you that. He just electrocutes him with lightning, right? He shocks the little respirator, the transpirator, whatever, the thing that's keeping him breathing. He shocks that, takes that out. Eventually, he starts putting his thumb on his throat. He's choking him. I don't remember if he was saying he was choking him or just like physically choking him himself. But he was choking the life out of him. He was. And he was like, "You still alive in there? I suspect you're still there. You're still there." But eventually, Plagueis gave up the life and he died. And afterwards, he went to go to the funeral because he wanted to. He is so menacing. He went to that funeral with enjoyment, right? For Qui-gon, he said he wanted to watch the ashes of Qui-gon, like him burn to ash. Eventually, he would go. There would be at the end of the book, the epilogue. He is talking to Obi-Wan and Anakin, and right from there, Obi-Wan already started. He already started correcting Anakin because Palpatine asked about his mother and his life on Tatooine, and then, but then he started like agreeing with Anakin. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start anything, Obi-Wan. Who am I? Who am I?" Right? He was saying the Jedi have kept peace for 1,000 years. Who am I to intervene? But as I said,
We will watch your career with great interest.
then in his mind he was like, let Anakin become bitter over time. I'll be the father figure that he always needs, and they will just, and he will eventually, and we know what he eventually becomes.
The war is over. Lord Sidious promised us peace. We only want...
He will eventually join Palpatine. Yep. That's my review. Well. My review is, it's a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You know, amazing. I love this book. I will be listening to Darth Maul, Shadowhunter next. I will come out with a review on that as well. Thank you for coming. Leave a like, comment, subscribe.
And may the dark side be with you always.